just to kind of get us back into the swing here of where we are and what we're talking about, we're looking at the light purple is the Babylonian Empire, which is about to come in Habakkuk's time. According to my chronology here, he's writing about 626 BC. That's about 40 years before the Babylonians come in and take over that entire area. And you can see the names and towns that are on there. Maybe you can read them. Just if not, here is Jerusalem right there. And so that kind of puts it in perspective, and then up into what is Syria and almost to Persia, and that will be part of their empire. And the thing that is so outstanding about this empire that's coming in is how swift it is, and how sudden and how fast that it takes over, and the cruelty that goes with it. This is a cruel enemy coming. This will be, as we've mentioned before, but I want to emphasize it, this will mark the end of the influence or the presence of God's church. The last bit of the Jewish people who are still worshiping God in Jerusalem will be either subjected and put to work as slaves in their own country, or a large number of them will be carried away and taken prisoner to foreign countries. That's the end. From 585 approximately BC up until 1948, God's country, if you want to look at it that way, under a godly ruler is no more. In fact, when the Babylonians come, they will find a country both divided. It has been divided into the northern part never did worship God. They immediately had their own religion and their own kings and so on, and never worshiped God. Not too long ago, the Promised Land, they had the last good king of Israel. They had the last bad king of Israel. They're about to be taken over, and the country of Israel dissolved. I know I'm repeating myself, but I think this is important to understand the place of Habakkuk in history. And of course, we saw it revived again in 1948. Okay. So let's take a look here at Isaiah 2:6. It's just a couple of verses that tie in, cross references. Isaiah 2:6. Therefore, well, let's put 5. O house of Jacob, come, let us walk in the light of the Lord. It says, therefore you have forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because talking about the Israelites. They were forsaken in Isaiah's time, and Isaiah was writing over 100 years before Habakkuk. Okay. Evil house, because they replenished from the east and are soothsayers like the Philistines, and they please themselves in the children of strangers. And their land is full of silver and gold, neither is there any end of their treasure. Okay, well, making the parallel there between the taking over of the land of Israel. They're going to be taken and fooled and mingled with the evil tribes. The whole plan, it looks like, is falling apart. And basically, it is, and it is falling apart because it depends too much upon people. Our salvation, in contrast, does not depend on me. It depends 100% on whom?
Jesus.
On Jesus. Yeah. So that's the contrast, the difference that we're seeing. Take a look at Jeremiah 2:11. Another somewhat related cross reference. Be sure and chime in here if you have a comment. I don't know if that's then. Let's we talked about Jeremiah and Isaiah. Josiah died about this time. He was the last good king of Israel. Actually, he was the king of the southern kingdom, which is not Israel, but he is considered a king of Israel when we talk about the whole country together. And then verses 16 and 17, we read about that and talked about it. Evil for the sake of evil. How many of you have been in worldly situations socially or at work or in college or wherever you're associating with primarily ungodly people? The evil seems to have a hold. It seems to be something that they want to do. I did have the picture again. I said, well, I showed it 2 times last week. I'll wait a week or 2 before I show it, of destroying the temple. When the Chaldeans come in and destroy God's temple. And they're there with their shirts off, sweating with hammers, working so hard to destroy the very thing that would give them eternal life, peace and happiness and everything they wanted. What a picture of the fish and the people today that he's talking about. Okay, let's go on just a little bit further then to Habakkuk. Get into chapter 2. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower. I'm going to go ahead and read through this entire thing through verse 17, actually, just for the sake of time, and or as far as we can get. So if you interrupt me, if you want to make a comment, and I will just read it and comment here. It fits into what we've talked about. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower. Okay? I think I have. Yeah. There. I put this watchtower up there. This is identical to an old watchtower that we run across elk hunting sometimes. There's no real road to it. You just have to be up there. Inside, there's a path up to it, and people go up there once in a while because even take times we don't have time, but to go into that. So I'll end with verse 11. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Okay. The house that was built with on evil is the house that will destroy or turn out to be the problem in the end. I think we are out of time. It might be a good place to quit. It's kind of quitting on a negative note, John.
I was talking to John before the class about ISIS. Can anybody tell me what ISIS stands for?
No.
Well, originally ISIS meant the Islamic State in Syria. We've just had a complete overturn of Syria from a Christian-run country to a Muslim-run country. But when the Biden administration and the Obama administration came, they wouldn't use the word ISIS, they preferred the word ISIL.
Yep.
If you recall that, the Islamic State in the Levant, which means the previous French colonies in the Mid-East. Then it became just ISIS again. After it was stomped out, remember, they made a big boast about the fact that they had totally defeated ISIS. Well, ISIS has come back like a roaring lion, but now there's an added word. It's called ISIS-K. Can anybody tell me what the K stands for?
No, go ahead. I know what. Go ahead.
Huh?
It's yours. Go ahead.
It comes from the Quran. There's a word in the Quran talking about the jihad, the flood that is to come. And the people that are demonstrating at Columbia University have signs, the flood is coming. It stands for the, Khorasan is the word in the Quran. And they've added it to ISIS-K as the most virulent form of this jihadism. And the flood is coming.